Hey everyone, I just wanted to shoot a quick introduction video. This footage was shot probably 2 months ago when I was doing the paint restoration on this, and I show you how to basically buff out and clean up your headlights with an orbital sander, and how to then seal them because a couple of these were leaking. But anyway, I hope you find this video useful. I'll talk to you soon.
So I figured I might as well show you how the headlights come out. I mean, one thing I love about these, they're just so easy. To take the headlights out, you just take these two posts out, and that's it. These guys come right out. I mean, how easy is that? And then you can take the bulbs right out. I gotta put the camera down for that. Let me get the headlights out and find where those clips are. Parking lights are even easier to get out. There's just a clip here. Push that in. See that right there, that clip? Push that in, and they're ready to come out. Let me take the bulbs out. Don't want to touch the paint below it. All right, I'm gonna do the headlights. I'm gonna polish them up, and a couple of them, notably, this guy here was leaking, and I can see where it's been patched before. Who knows when, so I've got some ideas on how to patch that. But we're going to go a little hardcore since they're off the vehicle, and we're going to use the Orbital on it and wet sand them. We'll do them all at 500 first, and then move up. I don't know. I got 800. We'll try that. That's sticky. My battery's dead. Let's change that. Seen enough? I'll do the parking lights and then I'll be back. Okay, I went from 500 to 1,000, and then I went to 2,000. I don't think I can polish them with wet sanding discs any more than that. Now I'm going to use polish, and so I need a sponge pad. I don't think I need the cleaners. I heard the 3M is pretty good. This is McGuire's. I've used it before. The thing about this is, if your headlights are old, you can get them to look pretty good. They're never going to look like new. There's yellowing on the inside that you're not going to be able to get away with. It's just, you know, but they'll come out pretty good. Already you can see they're not really very yellowed at all. No, this isn't really how they tell you to do it. I know that. I'm going to get it all over me, and that's quite all right. So this is kind of an abrasive. I don't know if it's more abrasive or less abrasive than 2000 grit sandpaper, but that is disintegrating as we speak. And that's okay. And something to wipe it down, take the polish off, and then I'm gonna let them dry out. And then I'm gonna seal all around here in these edges. And I'll explain that process when I get to it. Okay, they're polished. They look pretty good. I haven't put the clear on. There's a clear coat, and that'll shine them up a lot. But what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna kind of seal around there. Now these have been sealed multiple times, it looks like. Ironically, never by me. So these things have been leaking for a long time. So what I'm gonna use, this is called flowable silicone, and it's used for fixing a leaky windshield. And what it is it's very soft, and it will literally flow in the cracks. I don't know if this tube needs to be cut. Doesn't look like it. Now I know the parking lights were really leaking. Take off my glasses so I can. It looks like it does need to be cut. So in all these spaces in here, I'm gonna let this stuff run in, and it's gonna fill in and hopefully stop them from leaking. I don't know if a tube's gonna be enough, honestly. It won't be enough if it doesn't come out. I'll be right back. I don't want to make the spout any bigger because I need to be able to get in here. Yeah, I don't think a tube's going to do it, but let's look at where it's bad. This top part it'll certainly seal. I have some other stuff I can use as well for the heavier. It'll set in about an hour, and after the hour it takes about 24 hours to fully dry, but after an hour I'll be able to put them in. Now this stuff will creep. It'll run very slowly, so I'm going to leave the lights down like this because the last thing I want is for it to run down and then run down the inside of the lights, because then I'll have to take the whole light apart. And that on these is never easy. They're not exactly friendly with being taken apart. But the beauty of this is that old caked in silicone that's in there, this is gonna go right over it and flow right around it. Is this what you're supposed to do? Who knows? Everybody's got their way of doing it. Clearly this was leaking in there. That's too big a gap for this stuff. I'll get another tube. Let's get this guy. You know, one thing I thought of is just spraying the entire back of these lights with plasti dip, that stuff. Clear. They make a clear version of it. And I have some. I guess I could try it, but I don't know. My faith in that stuff is pretty limited, but some people swear by it. Now this has a very, very deep gap here, so this one is separating here. 22 years old, not surprising. Now when I filled these up before to look for the leaks, right here, it was leaking a lot. I filled the water inside, so if you really want to find your leak, fill this up with water and then kind of move it around, and it poured out of the bottom of this one. So I know moisture is getting in from here. And there is evidence somebody tried to seal it before. I mean, it's there. There's cement there. Somebody tried it unsuccessfully. See if we can do better. Job would have been faster had I put a bigger hole in these things, but also wouldn't have been allowed me to get in too close. And that's what I want to do. I want to get in right where it could leak. And there is the other spot. In this, you can clearly see there's a big gap there. The water would just pour right in. And if water's getting in, it's going to blow your bulbs. All it takes is one little drop to hit, and that's it. Pretty good, actually. It sat right in there, exactly where it's supposed to go. You can even see it on this edge where it pulled in. See, I don't know, let me see if I can get a close-up. I'll show you what it's doing. So, let's see. See this? Here it is. So you see the gap? That's where it was leaking. It's going right up to the seam as it sits. It's going to take it a while to fully drip in, but it's dripping. It's going right into the seams. And with this, I can look at it later and kind of say, oh, missed that spot. I should have cleaned that out, but oh well. Okay, now these guys weren't leaking. And in fact, these lenses do pop off if you were brave enough to attempt popping one of those off at risk of simply breaking the tab. I am not. I am not going to risk that. I'm just going to put a silicone bead on here and run my finger across it to push it into that seam, and that'll be the end of it. I mean, these aren't expensive if you want to buy new headlights. I think you can buy new lenses for like $100. Part of the beauty of the Silverado, Tahoe, Suburban is there's so many of these things around that OEM parts are not expensive. Or, well, actually, it probably wouldn't even be OEM headlights for $100, but parts for these are not expensive. We got a seal. Oh, look at that. So down here is our gap. Look, it's completely separated. Look at how wide that is. So this wasn't full of water, but I'm gonna seal that. I'm gonna fill it. That is a big gap. All right. to go. We're gonna have enough. More than enough, actually. Last one here. Again, there's a big gap here. That's number one spot. Okay, I think we've got it. One tube, did all four. I got a little bit to spare. Gonna let that sit for a bit. Needs time. Let me go clean what's left of it off my hands. I guess that's it for this. Next step, when this sets, I'm gonna spray them with clear. The scratches and all that, what happens with the yellowing is actually it's road debris and stuff hits these and takes off the factory clear coat, it chips the plastic and micro scratches and all that. So we've got them polished now. They feel smooth as glass. Once we put the clear coat on them, they'll light up like crystal.
Hey everyone, one last step to this video that I forgot to include when I shot the footage. After you've sanded these headlights down and after you've polished them and after you've sealed them, before you put them back on, spray them down with this. It's basically a clear coat and it serves two purposes. One, headlights from the factory come clear coated. In fact, one of the reasons they yellow is because the clear coating gets worn off. So the second thing is when you spray this on, it really brightens them up. I mean, you can notice it. It makes them look a lot nicer. So the brand here is Meguiar's, and there's quite a few companies that make this, and you may be able to just seal them with regular clear gloss spray paint. But it's an important last step, and I didn't want to leave it off the video. Take care. Here's a close-up. These were done about 2 months ago. They still look pretty good.